I was a television news reporter and news anchor for 25 years before I went into radio. And doing live broadcast of a protest where the F word is a key component of the messaging, F ICE is sort of what we're seeing everywhere. And the photographer for Fox 9 is executing a masterclass in sort of avoidance. Where, like, whenever you see a big F word, now they're on a digital streaming channel. Like, who? Let me ask you guys this. Is it time to get over the prohibition of the F word, like on TV and even on the radio? 651-461-9226. I'm not asking you to call in and do it. But it just occurred to me watching this coverage that societal norms on language have changed. And we all have different views on that. I would be very uncomfortable if the FCC changed the rules and said, you know what, you can say, like, profanity is no longer, the 7 words you're not allowed to say. It's no longer that big of a deal. It's not as profane because it's so commonly used. The mayor of Minneapolis got a lot of grief for telling ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. And, of course, all the media, including us, beep, you censor it like we're a bunch of children and can't handle the F word. In the meantime, I got to guess that most of you who text in and say, oh, we certainly should not have the F word on the radio or on TV, probably use it with your own kids. So it just occurs to me, maybe it's time. Wall Cloud Chaser on YouTube says, yes, it's time to stop censoring the F word. Jonathan says, boy, it would be nice to say, beep, a duck on the radio. Probably would. John and oh, that wasn't John who said that. Another 612er says, F it, why not? I go back and forth on this. I do think there's value in having standards around language, right? There's value in having the TV news or the regular radio use other ways to express the same sentiment. And as a 763er says, profanity is a poor crutch for a weak vocabulary. I tend to think that's true. 605er says use of that word tells you the class of people using it. Does it? (952er) does the world need more class or less? So I do think the world needs more class. But I think in a news circumstance, so I don't think that this would be a good idea, just to be clear. I suppose now I can tell you what I think. I don't think it's a good idea, but I don't think that you need to censor it when the mayor uses it. I don't think you need to break your back trying to turn the camera so you don't show the F ICE sign. I think that's stupid. And most of us don't stumble into watching the news and just seeing the F word in a fleeting sign. If you're old enough to read it, you've heard it before, you're going to be okay. I don't think we need to normalize it. I don't think I should be allowed to use it, but I don't think we should censor it. That's what I think. 651-461-9226. I'd like to, first of all, just thank you all for the courage and restraint you've shown by not call. Oh, well, here comes the first call. I'm just waiting, like, who's going to be the first one? Don't say it, because then we have to push the dump button. We have a delay. We're in a delay. This isn't Jason and Dan's YouTube fun house where we're just like, you can say whatever you want. Now, you guys watching on the stream will, if someone calls in with the word, you will hear it on the stream. So if any of you are such delicate flowers that hearing the F word would offend you, it's time to log off the stream. Maybe in the break, I'll just unleash a tirade of F words only on the stream. Look at the Captain Prude, Dan Cook. Let's see what Glenn in Minneapolis thinks. Dan, get your hand on the dump button. Glenn, you're not
practicing my move.
You're not going to drop an F word on the air, are you?
Don't do it.
No. I'm an old truck driver, and I mean, I run into people that like every third word starts with an F.
Yeah. Well, that's where the whole got a mouth like a truck driver, a sailor or a truck driver, right?
Yeah, well, but on the other hand, look how sensitive we are about nudity.
Mm.
You know, somebody flashes a boob on in a parade, and it's like, oh, got to block that out. You know,
it is.
Or at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, well, like nobody ever walked in on their mother when they were a kid. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
there you go, truck driver. Sorry about that. Not.
I do think, Glenn, that, like, I think we can draw the line, right? Like, if you're covering a protest, it's fine to show the F word on a sign. It's fine. No one's going to – this is not going to permanently damage someone. Also, like, you don't need CCO radio talk show hosts using the F word in their regular commentary.
Right, but only because you're too classy.
And look at – I mean, who's classier than me?
You know?
Right.
I'm speechless. I don't have any idea.
Glenn, thank you.
If you took all the full-time hosts,
very good,
and voted who was most likely to let one fly by accident on the air,
yeah,
who is it, and why is it Vanita?
I have heard Vanita swear before. She wouldn't be my number one.
You don't think so?
She wouldn't be my number one. I do think, like, the obvious would be Adam or Chad, I think, but it's Jordana.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the obvious is Jordana to me.
It's 100% Jordana would be most likely to slip up with the F word. Now, I find myself, I think what people don't realize, the hardest part of this job is that this show is so conversational. Yeah. I do not have a script. We're just talking to each other. And in my head, often profanity is... It's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm thinking. The F word is the most universal swear word in the dictionary, says a texter. I had a junior high English teacher who did not care if we swore in class, but we had to use it properly. Like all language, it always sounds worse when used wrong. It's not a crutch when used correctly. I think that's a very interesting text because that was the case I was making when Jacob Fry had his F word. And, oh, my goodness, the Pearl Clutchers really, got worked up on that one. And I thought we, in our news coverage, should have just played it. You could give a warning, like there's going to be some salty language coming. But we show people, get murdered on primetime television for, entertainment. We have no such bugaboo about, is that the right word? I don't know. We're just
It's a good word.
We're just talking. But we don't have, when it comes to violence, we don't have this. But the F word and nudity, as our last caller pointed out. Mike's in Maplewood. Mike, do you think we get, a little too stuck up about this?
Well, all I think is that, like the other guy was saying, you hear it around the house. You can hear it with a group of men anytime, doing anything sometimes.
Yeah. And
you'll say it around the house in front of your kids. You hit your thumb with a hammer, that kind of deal.
Yep.
Anything that disrupts you in a bad way.
Yeah, I
don't think it's got any
finger
place in the public. If you start saying that all day on the radio, I mean, and on television, et cetera, that's become it's going to normalize that type of thing, and society is going to get more and more and more vulgar, as if it's not vulgar enough already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it has any place in public. Okay.
I think it.
That's it.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Mike. But I do wonder when that changes, right? Like norms of language and definitions and meanings are changing all the time. Like I'm not somebody that gets too worked up when when society decides like, well, you can't use this word anymore because it's offensive. And you're like, yeah, I mean, sometimes there are words that maybe the initial meaning wasn't or maybe your meaning wasn't to be offensive. But like, it's fine. Like one of the beauties of the English language is we have so many words. You can find another word, right? But I also wonder if maybe there's a time where you say, what if we allow a word that used to be banned? And I do think like more spicy, salty language, we've seen it from the political sphere. And like those guys are doing it because the public likes it. The public thinks it's okay. I'm not advocating for like me or Chad or Adam or Vanita to be allowed. You still have rules in your workplace.
I'm advocating for Vanita, but only for Vanita.
Only Vanita.
Only Vanita.
I would love one morning for Vanita.
That's what I'm saying.
Just to unleash.
Just let loose.
Oh. Do you think we can we go to her into calling in and swearing on our show?
No.
It would be delicious, though. I will call into her show and swear.
I'm a much bigger proponent of that than the other way around.
Dave is in Buffalo. Dave in Buffalo. I've spent some time in Buffalo, Minnesota. I've never heard a cuss word. Tell you that much.
Well, your time must have been brief.
For sure. That is a straight up lie. I can guarantee you I may have been the cause of it. I try to keep it under control because I don't need people being all like, oh, Jason DeRusha's got a real potty mouth. But, sometimes the word fits. Sometimes it fits. What do you think about this? Are we too sensitive about it, or are you glad that we have sort of these at least some little decency in society?
Well, I'm glad there is some restraint for it, and I have a funny reference that some listeners may like. You'll probably remember this. This is probably 20 years ago now. On the old KQ morning show, they have a hilarious bit you can probably find about the F word. And it's just, if you need a good laugh after work tonight on a cold day, it's hilarious. And it's a dorky professor explaining the complexities and fascination and versatility of the F word. And it's just great. He'll say, it can be used to express frustration. Oh, F this. Also can be used for joy. Oh, this is effing great. And it just goes on and on for like 5 minutes. It's just hilarious.
It's so good. That's so good. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Let's go to Dallas, who's joining us from Colorado. Hi, Dallas.
Hello. It's a balmy 12 degrees here. It's probably warmer here than where you are.
It is. I'm jealous. It's 8 below here right now.
Whoa. Yeah. Hey, my question for you is, what is the current FCC rule? If somebody dropped an F-bomb that got out on CCO, could you lose the license, or would you get a warning?
Yeah. Well, Dan Cook is an expert in that, right? Because you're the producer.
I don't know that I'd say I'm an expert, but my understanding is, A, you'd have to have somebody file an official complaint with the FCC for us to receive any trouble for that. And then there would be, obviously a hearing of some sort trying to determine the nature of the usage of it, if it's in a news event or if it's, it's just somebody saying it. And at that point, if we're found to be in the wrong, there was a fine. I don't remember exactly what the number is.
It can be high, but
yeah, it would be a significant fine, but it would be a fine. It wouldn't necessarily pull our license. If there was a series of incidences at some point, it could affect the licensure, but not just on one incident.
The fine could be effing high.
It could be.
Yes, very much so.
I think the fine. I mean, do you want to test it, Dallas? Do you want to give it a go?
Don't do it.
No.
I won't.
I think the fine goes up to like $125,000. They don't have to do that, but they could really drop that. And the last time I saw this covered, like there was a TV station in 2015 that showed Like they inadvertently put a live computer screen on the air that showed perhaps whoever was on that computer was visiting a website that was maybe not the wisest.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep. But yeah, the broadcast of obscenity, indecency, and profanity. And it's only during certain hours. So late at night, you're good to go. Thanks, Dallas. Thanks for listening and for calling in. We appreciate it.